We should be live. I'm hoping we're live now. How's it going, boys?
Everything's good. Can't complain.
Pretty good.
Still looking forward to this card.
I mean, it's a weird weekend, bro. We got an old man fighting a young Disney kid. We got two old dudes that should have fought already. Like it's a lot of
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it just to see what happens. I mean, like we're gonna get some closure one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm glad we get I'm glad at the very least we get the boxing tonight as opposed to tomorrow, because that would have been tricky. It would have been tricky to navigate both, because I legit might have jumped over to Paul and just because it's Mike Tyson. I mean, if you genuinely had to ask the question, who would you rather watch, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul or Jones and Stipe? The answer doesn't jump out to me. Do you know what I mean? It's not that easy to navigate. It's a tricky one.
What's up,
You think we're gonna get any drama in the Tyson Jake Paul fight, or is it gonna be kind of uneventful? What are you expecting?
Well, they're wearing pillows on their hands.
Yeah,
so that's a concern to me. And it being like 2 minutes, it being 2-minute rounds as well. I think they're doing the best they can to protect Mike Tyson, which I'm pretty happy about to some extent. Because as soon as I heard this fight was announced, I was like, I'm pretty much the same as you guys. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing to this guy? Why are they doing this? Do they hate us? And then when it got cancelled the first time, we were all celebrating. Jax and I definitely were. And obviously it being put back again is disappointing. But now that we're here, despite all the pad work they're showing from Mike, I'm nervous, man. I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a timeline where Mike Tyson gets knocked out by this bell end. We're about to enter it.
I feel you on that. The slap, though, did the slap get you more interested or no?
No, it didn't really do much for me. I saw that he stepped on the guy's toe. I saw that he stepped on his toe, and it was just kind of an instinctive, like, I don't think this gets any. I mean, it elevates it from like a 1 to a 2, I guess. That's kind of
it didn't do nothing for me. It didn't do nothing for me.
Nothing at all.
It felt a little bit staged as well, but
yeah, I mean, I honestly don't feel as though the fight should even be happening, but it is what it is. We're here. We're gonna watch. We're gonna see what happens.
But I will celebrate. I will celebrate if Jake Paul gets knocked out, though. I would definitely celebrate.
Absolutely.
I'll be very happy the fight happened. It will be the best idea ever if it goes down like that. For real.
For real.
That's kind of where I'm teetering. But I'm gonna watch it, like I said, and I'm happy it's on the Friday. And I was just gonna say, if you're doing a live stream, I'll probably just watch along to yours, because I was considering maybe doing one as well, but it'll be 4 o'clock in the morning, and it probably won't start until 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing how boxing goes down. You know how that is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the stamina for that.
No, that's a rough one. That's a rough one.
Real rough. Yeah.
You see Paradox in the chat over there?
It's not. It's actually not Paradox. It's DJ Aiden, his number one fan. Yeah, which is it's always good getting DJ Aiden popping up in the comments.
What's going on, Ramlin Dad? Congrats again on the new addition to the family. Just having a kid.
Yep.
Oh, congratulations! Look forward to the Well, I talk about sleepless nights. When my son was born, he was a little legend. He slept like 16 hours. The little G. So
luck of the draw right there.
Luck of the draw. Yeah, he was amazing. And then he'd sleep he'd sleep like 14 hours at night, and then he'd get his 2 hour nap in during the day as well. It's like he just understood the deal. He understood the get down. So it was good. And he still gets his 10 hours now, so I can't complain.
Nah,
But
Jeremy don't do
congratulations.
that.
Is it Jordan
Yep.
and not
Mm-hmm.
Jordan? Congratulations,
Mm-hmm.
brother. Big news. Is it a boy or a girl? Does anyone know? That does matter.
It's a girl.
Girl, yeah.
How you doing, Stevie Jackson? We're good, man. We're just we're kind of setting up a well, we know that the weigh-ins have gone down, so we're gonna kind of watch the ceremonial weigh-ins, kind of, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about the card. Cheddarhead's here as well, and Crystal. God damn, the regulars are turning up and showing out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we think. I mean, as much as we gunned down on John Jones, and I personally thought we cooked him pretty badly the other day. That's quite. I didn't realize how bad we'd cooked him until I went back to edit it. I was like, yeah, we kind of went in a bit hard. It felt just like a normal conversation. I don't know if you find this as well, crossover, but whenever we do like those topic videos, it's just like an impromptu conversation, and it feels very run of the mill. It feels, and then I go back to the editing suite, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did I just say? I'm not even sure if I can put this in there, you know. And then I do it anyway.
Of course, you're gonna believe it in the video. That's you, Frankie.
Sadly, is me. It is me.
Hey, shout out to you, Dr. Evil, man. I appreciate you jumping in, leaving comments, all that good stuff, bro.
Yeah. It's good to see some new people up in here as well. I know that some of these guys are some of your chat guys, which is cool. I need to hang out there a little bit more. So do you want to start just breaking down the fights, and then I'm not sure when the ceremonial weigh-ins start, but
so the way, I mean, I know it's supposed to start up in 7 minutes, but I'm totally down. I'm totally down with going through the cards. It's whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, we can go through it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna be on CP time or not, but we'll see. We will see. John Jones running the show now, so he'll probably be on CP time. he can get new gloves and everything.
Yeah, Joe, I was just saying that when I went on a little bit of a side ramble. It's like, even though like we really hate John Jones, or I really hate John Jones anyway, I can't really, and I used to love him, but there's something special about a John Jones card, even when it's not stacked the way that it potentially could be. It's like I gun the guy all the time, but it's like I feel like pushing the boat out a little bit further whenever he's on a card. There's just something about it. I don't know. I can't explain it. So like, I'm all on board. So probably do a watch along on Saturday, and doing this now. It's we never do a live for a weigh-in, but. And as I've said before, he is probably the person I've had the most success with making videos about on my channel. So it's a bit of a love-hate relationship with him, to be fair.
Yeah. Yep, I know you hate making the videos about that dude. But it works though.
But aren't they like the best videos on your channel, Frankie?
Depends what you mean by best. I kind of find myself like I enter a zone of just like, we all know that I'm a douchebag, but like if there's certain people, when I talk about them, it's like I just go into like a trance, and it's like I don't remember what I've said or how it's gone down, and I just go into a national flow state of just cooking, you know. And John Jones is just one of those people that brings it out of me. Just I can't. It's because he gets away with stuff. I think that's what I kind of alluded to it on the last one. I feel like this guy has done everything possible to end up either in jail or banned from the sport, and he just keeps getting away with it. And it just kind of rubs me up the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I get that. It's hard to even push back on that. I mean, you know, I like John Jones, but I like John Jones in the cage, not outside the cage. So outside the cage, he's garbage, man, and that's filtering to how people think about him inside the cage. You know, and then everything that's going on with this whole Aspinall thing is just icing on the cake. It's just giving people ammunition to throw stones at him. So I mean, he made this bed at this point. So it's like, you know how normally, like, if it's somebody that I vibe with, like, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna stick up for you. But like in this case, I'm like, I can't even say anything. There's nothing I can say.
You've tried.
I've tried.
You can't do anything about the antics outside the octagon. I mean, it's just been too much, way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, hopefully he gets his comeuppance on Saturday. That would be great. I don't see it happening, but
I wonder what goes through his mind when like some of the stuff happens, and then he realizes like, oh shit, this is another one of those times where something else is gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, I legit wonder what goes through his mind.
I don't think he thinks that much. John Jones really confuses me, yeah, because for somebody who's so you get this a lot with like you know people who are like prodigies in their fields, like in the cage, he's as kind of elite as it gets in terms of naturally elite.
Mm-hmm.
But then you find that with people like that, it's like they've got like Asperger's or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're so elite at what they do, but then you get them in like everyday walks of life, and they just make the dumbest, most retarded decisions possible. It's like there's a disconnect there between like John Jones. You alluded to this actually in a video you made a little while ago, Jax, where you talked about John Jones the person, and then Bones the character.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like there's a kind of a split personality situation there where he's one thing in the cage and another thing at home. It's weird.
Yep.
It is.
He's like the Rain Man of MMA. Like, he does one thing very, very well, and everything else he just can't get right.
I've kind of heard something where like people that are savants or just super elite at something, like they have to have another part of their life that's like equally and opposite as bad in the other direction. So like think Michael Jordan and gambling, Tiger Woods and all the women and the porn stars like John Jones.
Can we pause on that one for a second? I'm less upset about that one. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. I don't see the issue. Do you know what I mean? It was like, bro, it's yeah. With this is what I'm saying. Tiger Woods, you obviously got with Michael Jordan. I know the gambling was a thing, but I mean the guy's like, it was more for the competitive edge. He was more just. It wasn't about betting dangerous amounts of money. It was just about getting any small victory over anyone. He was competitive about anything. With Jones, it's like, bro, it's every way you can fuck up humanly possible. He's done it. Almost. He hasn't caught a body yet, but there's still time. There's still time for that. We'll see. But this is why I said we're talking about unprecedented levels of fucking up and getting away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I just feel like I think he's destined to just go through life and just, it's like he's touched by a higher power or something.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of is. But he can't get things right on the outside. I hope things turn around. I've always hoped that things turned around for him. Like, just as a person, just as a person, just be normal. Don't slap people and hit people that are not in the cage, and just don't drive. Don't even drive. Just stay away from driving. Just go home, gather your belts around, and just lay down. That's it. Just do that. If you could just do that,
I like this. I like this as a point. Imagine we it's going to be a scary world to live in when with John Jones like post retirement. Because
no, I mean, yeah.
do you know what I mean? Sure. There's people who are on that we would like to call it the Benoit watch list. I don't like to make like jokes about this kind of thing, but he needs to be given some kind of responsibility somewhere, something important where he's still a valuable member of society. Do you know what I mean? Because as soon as he's got nothing left, I'm concerned about what you might do.
Yeah.
At least he's in Albuquerque. I mean, having been to Albuquerque, there's not a lot of trouble to get into in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
True. He'll find some.
I guess he'll find some. Yeah, he'll find a way.
Of course he will. He might run into Walter White out there.
Yeah. I foresee something like that. Just like because he kind of lives for the juice, doesn't he? A little bit.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that as a point for sure. So now that the weigh-ins have actually taken place, I was talking to Crossover about this before. Did anyone actually miss weight? Were there any on-scale issues that anyone's aware of?
I didn't see anybody miss.
I didn't see anything.
The card really could not use that. I suppose it's kind of on its we can't lose anything from this card type situation. I think we need everything to go off with a hitch between now and Saturday night. And somebody made the point earlier on, I think we were talking about this as well, about I personally feel more excited for the Tyson and Paul boxing match than I do for this main event. And I'm glad that we don't have to choose between the two of them, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we reckon for this first fight, Hardy versus Mora? Who wants to take this one first? Because I could not give less of a fuck.
I'll say this. Veronica Hardy, she is, kind of entertaining for, the space that she's in, I suppose. But I feel like her striking it's leveled up since she's kind of been reintroduced into the organization, after that time off or whatnot. And I'm really really supportive of what she's doing right now. Mora, I mean, if the fight's super boring, then Mora won. So because she's a prodigy of Jonathan Almeida, and Jonathan Almeida is one of the most boring fighters I've ever seen in my life. So if Hardy doesn't win, then this will be hands down the most boring fight on the card. Absolutely.
What do you reckon, Crossover? So are you edging Veronica Hardy then, just for the record?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going Veronica Hardy as well. But for me, if Hardy can keep this fight on the feet, I think she cruises to a win. But if Mora gets her down, like, it's going to be tough because she's pretty heavy on top. But Mora, in my opinion, like, her gas tank is not very good. So if Hardy defends a few takedowns, Mora's pretty much just going to be taking desperation after desperation shot. But that's pretty much how I see it.
Yeah, I actually quite like the way Hardy fights. Like, since she's come back, she's been pretty solid. I like the fact that she brings the fight to girls as well. Her tank has proven to be pretty good. I like her striking. She's not generally horrible anywhere. And I do expect this one to go to distance. I think there will be some close elements to it, but I think Hardy's going to come out and get two rounds. I reckon. I'm probably going with who's the underdog in this one. I'm assuming it's Moria.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I'm not really.
Yeah. Hardy's favored like -140.
It's a tricky sell to bet on any female favorite. I don't like doing it in general. It always
I wouldn't bet on
comes
it.
back.
I wouldn't bet on this fight. I wouldn't even add it to a parlay because
Oh no.
I mean, there's a chance of them because Moore is bigger than Hardy too, so she could suffocate her. It's possible.
Mm.
That is in her bag.
And she's younger as well. Probably had less
Mhm.
miles on the clock. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go. I'm probably gonna go Hardy, but it's a tricky one. I definitely would stay away from it. I'm assuming that Paradox has bet on Mora, seeing as how Hardy's campaigning for her right now. I know Sniff is bricked up right now. Sniff is bricked up hard. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna edge Veronica. Should we move on then? We've got 3 for Hardy. Who's what's next up on the card? I've already forgotten.
Hafez versus Elliott.
Yep.
Okay. This one's slightly more exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, who you got crossover in this one?
I went with Oban Elliott by decision in this fight. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I made my decision before the new gloves, but I mean, both guys have finishing rates under 40%, so I see this fight definitely going to decision.
Okay, what do you reckon, Jax?
I'm leaning Oban Elliott as well. I think that Basel he ain't shown me nothing since he showed up on short notice against JDM. When he fought Mickey Gall, he won, I guess. He won because somebody had to win. But, he looked garbage in that fight. He looked better in the fight that he lost than the one that he won. So, if he keeps going that direction, he's going to be watching the card with us. So, I think Oban Elliott's going to, especially with these new gloves, I think he might crack him, man.
I think people are missing out on the when Hafez came into the organization, he came in on really short notice, and there was some issues with the juicing stuff because obviously on the regionals they don't check for that, and he came in at very, very short notice. So I'm not overly confident that he was a clean athlete going into that, which might explain why he was able to put in such a good performance against JDM. But I think if we get that guy, I think he's gonna. It was weird as well because it's weird what you say about the Mickey Gall fight because I remember betting on him for that one and he was minus 400, I think, and he did not look like a minus 400 in that fight. And I thought my parlay was going up in smoke.
Did we do a watch along for that?
I think we did, yeah. It was a very quiet part of I remember us both being like, I was already looking up who else to. I was already looking up who else to bet on because I was certain that it was going in the toilet.
Yep.
It's funny how I didn't talk about that when we made our video about how we get fucked over by bets all the time. I didn't mention how I managed to sneak that one under the table. But yeah, he's I think what Paradox is saying about Elliott's chin has got me concerned a little bit because I think if maybe Hafez with a full camp, little bit of time in between, if he shows up looking anywhere like he did against JDM, I think he could be a problem here. And I like him as an underdog. I think the issue here for me, this one, again, if you're betting on this, I wouldn't put Elliott on my ticket because I just think the difference between them is negligible. And I haven't seen Elliott face anyone that good. So,
true.
I think if I had to bet on this just for the value, I'd probably go Hafez, but I can see why you guys are going Elliott. So I'm going to go against you guys on this one. Just, fuck it. I do like Oban Elliott. But he's also, he's Welsh, and I don't think he can be trusted for that reason. So, I know my people. I know the people around my area, and I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna edge Hafez, but I think it could end up being a decent fight. I expect it to be scrappy. All right, who's next up?
Who is it? Denise
Obama? Oh no, Denise. Yeah, okay. Tibura and Denise. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this one.
Brian, this is I don't know if I'll be sitting down to watch this one. I might be going to get me something to eat, something like that. Denise could knock him out though, and that's kind of what I expect. kind of a sloppy striking fight where Tybura can't get him down and Denise knocks him out with something sloppy. So I think Denise wins, and maybe they rebut that Derek Lewis fight.
That's pretty much the same way I saw it. Just Tybura, like them being on the feet and Denez pretty much being in the center of the octagon, starting to piece them up a little bit, and then Tybura tries to get some takedowns here and there, but Denez manages to keep it on the feet and then gets a KO.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, I actually, we'll do Mickey Gall next. I think we needed some separation from Mickey Gall and Hafez just to make this card make sense. Yeah, I actually put I put a bet on for this a couple of weeks ago when the card was first, when the odds first went up, and I put Tybura in my parlay, and I don't know why I did that, because he's old, and I think like he's old and his striking's not great, but I just feel like Denise again hasn't been tested.
That's fair.
I think
that's very fair.
I think if it gets past the first round, I think Tybura wins it easily. That's kind of my take on it. I just think that I think Denise he's obviously got decent pot to him. He's very, very young. And he is the obvious guy to, I'm gonna be sweating through that first round. But I think if Tybura can get through it. I was really impressed of how he bounced back against Spivak, who I think is actually very decent. And I think there's a cutoff point at heavyweight, isn't there, where you've got like the top 2 or 3 are in the league of their own. Then you've got kind of the next 3 that are kind of in a band of their own, and then you've got kind of the king of the bottom feeders that have like Tybura and those guys, and then you just got dog shit like from 10 onwards. And I don't think Denise has fought anyone to prove that he could end up being in that kind of mid part range, but I don't think he's fought anyone yet to show me that he's above bottom feeder level yet. And this could be the moment to prove it if he belongs in that band. And I think the fact that Tybura is nearly 40 is a concern as well, but we know heavyweights have a little bit more longevity. So I'm going to go with Tybura just because I bet on him, but I'm not confident about it at all.
But shout out to Tybura for holding on to that hair, man. It's still on. Still on.
Clinging on. Shout out to both of us, by the way. Shout out to you, bro. You got a fucking
man, Tybura, come on home, man. Get you a baldy, brother. Get you a baldy.
All right, let's stick Mickey Gall on, seeing as the chat is actually upset about the fact that we skipped him over somehow. Let me see if I can find him on here.
We skipped Mickey Gall because he's not a UFC fighter. That's why he got skipped. So
this might be to get the snacks refreshments fight right here.
It might be a little snacks refreshments block. Maybe you got about 30
Yeah, there's
minutes.
a few fights in the middle there that are just yucky.
And this is one of them.
Back to back.
Is Mickey Gall the favorite?
He is, yeah.
I think so.
Man.
Didn't Brahimaj like almost have his ear ripped off?
Yeah,
or have
Griffin.
part of his.
Yeah.
Yep. That would change you, wouldn't it?
Yep.
That'd affect you.
And I just coming out next week, I interviewed Max Griffin. So and we talk about that. He's got a tattoo of the ear.
That's fucking cold blooded, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
that might, if you almost take a guy's ear off, you're gonna. That's something to hold on to for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Pretty much. I don't know, man. I got to go with Ramiz Brahimaj on this one, just on the fact that I don't. You know how sometimes I'll call people regional champions. You know, I'm like, you're good enough to be a regional champion, but not to be anything significant in the UFC. I don't even think Mickey Gall's a regional champion. So Brahimaj, if he's supposed to be in the UFC, he has to beat Mickey Gall.
Yeah. What do you reckon, crossover?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. This fight, bro, it was just tough just to even make a pick for this fight for me. I mean,
It's
I
hard
went
to pick.
Broncos.
It's hard to pick when you don't care, innit? Like legit hard.
Yeah, it's a
like,
little bit of that for sure. But it kind of was like I just flipped the coin and was like, all right. But I went with Ramiz as well. But zero confidence in it. And yeah, like if we get some action, I'll be happy about it. But other than that, I'm not really expecting much here.
I don't know what's going on tonight, but you know where this is headed. I'm going for Mickey Gall.
Oh no.
I thought he was actually quite good against Hafez. He got into a nice, and he's a very, he's very big for the division, and I think Brahimaj is proper dog shit as well. At least like Gall has like put on some decent performances. So I don't know, man. I'm going with Mickey Gall. I mean, I'm not. Again, I'm staying away from this as everyone should.
Yeah, I ain't bidding on this. Not bidding
Yeah,
on
I
that.
saw improvement. I saw improvement. In
Hey,
this one, so.
crossover. There's a question in the chat that I feel you need.
Oh
to
yeah, I see that, brother. I never had the box fade, bro. Like I always had the little low Caesar, like my whole life, pretty much. And then
So
when it was time to come home.
Speaking as the only white person in the room here, what the fuck is a box fade? Don't just casually drop that in there and then move on. Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
I'm trying to see how to explain it. It's like where you get it faded, and then up here it's a little more hair, but it's flat up top.
Oh, I can. Sorry, I've just googled it. I got you. I know what that is. I got
yeah. You. I can pull it up if you need me to. Matter of fact, he referenced Juwan Howard specifically. Juwan Howard's box fade was legendary.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, shout out to everyone here. We got Manuel Fernandez. If you guys are here from my chat and you're not subscribed to Making the Walk and Crossover, please do so. Just thought I'd throw that in there while the boys have turned up. All right, so now that we've established, sorry, go on.
I was like, he looked like Juwan has gone on the internet and got everybody to delete all of his box fade pictures. It's not on the internet anymore. It's all gone.
Is it that bad?
It wasn't bad, but it's dated.
Old school. Old school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see that I don't really see that out and about anymore, which is why I was unfamiliar with what you meant.
Nope.
I think we call it something different in the UK. And I don't know what it is either, before you ask. So far we've completely. So I've got Gall in this one. You've got Brahimaj in both. I'm sorry, you both got Brahimaj. So that will tell everyone stay the fuck away from this one again.
Yeah, zero confidence in this fight.
I have a feeling it's going to be relatively fun though. I just have a feeling it will be scrappy. All right, so next up is it Onama? I didn't even know this fight was on here. When was
it? It just got announced because he was supposed to fight Lucas Almeida, and then Lucas Almeida pulled out short notice, and then they got this guy making his debut, Roberto Romero.
What do we reckon?
Onama should piece him up. I think Onama's really good. And I don't think that Romero's going to be able to just walk in on short notice and take care of him. Romero looked like he looked like that dude off of Hamilton. But anyway, yeah, I think he gets destroyed in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Onama.
Go ahead. Well. No, sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going Onama KO first round. Like I think this will be one-way traffic.
I don't even know who the fuck this Romero guy is. I'll be real, and I'm judging by the hairline. I'm just gonna go over Onama.
Yeah,
he's got like the semicircle up front. Can't be trusted. It's like I don't know where this guy's come from, and I've just looked at the odds. Onama being a minus 1,000 scares me.
Whoa,
because
he's
crazy.
Like he's not that good. So this guy must be dog shit. If he's coming in as minus 1,000.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
He's making his debut 8-3-1.
Yeah, that's not good.
Minus 1,000.
Minus 1,000 is wild. Do you know, I'm actually going to pull the card up instead of just guessing my way through this, because this could be a long night.
Jim Miller and Damon Jackson are next.
This one's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Damon Jackson.
I wonder why.
He sees this.
When a guy's got your personal phone number, you can't pick against him.
For real. Yeah. Nah. I mean, I think he's got a path to victory. What I really want to see is I want to see the scrambles. I want to see the grappling between these two. Not as much the striking. Even though I think Jim Miller is a very good striker. I just want to see the grappling just to see where it goes. But I'm gonna go with Damon Jackson, but y'all know why.
I'm with you again on this one. But for slightly different reasons. Like, I definitely want Jim Miller to win. But I think all the damage he took at UFC 300 combined with his age is, I don't think he's going to look even as good as he has in the last couple fights. And that's why I'm going with Damon Jackson. But I'm expecting this to be competitive, though. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Jim Miller were to win.
Yeah. I guess it's official. I'm going with Jim Miller. I don't know. Like, to be honest, Joe, before we started this video out and I had a little look through I think if you look at my Tapology thing as well, I think I've actually picked Jackson by decision. But now that I'm really thinking about it, I think Jackson's striking has improved quite a bit recently. Like, in his last few fights, he's looked a lot better. And obviously we know what his grappling prowess is like. I just feel like Jim Miller's got one more big win left in him. I think him going out the way that he did against Bobby Green is not going to be the last thing for him. I have a feeling that he might win this one and then retire, get like a nice retirement thing. Because I think for somebody who was on, the only fighter in history to be on 100, 200, and 300, maybe I'm just kind of willing this into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be nice for a guy who's that much of a legend and like the whole Hall of Fame debate and all the rest of it. I'd like to see him go out on a win, and I think this could be the last one for him. And I think this could be the last winnable fight that he gets. So just based on that, I'm gonna go with Jim Miller. I think he's well rounded enough to do this.
Yeah, no, I think he can definitely beat him. He definitely can.
Absolutely.
No question.
I feel like I'm just being a contrarian at this point, because I was going to pick Jackson, but when you both said Jackson, I was like, let's just keep this going. I'll take what I've just said with a pinch of salt. I'm kind of flip flopping here, like live, but yeah.
All right, so the next fight is Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders.
Yuck.
Yuck. I picked this on Jax's video to be the most boring fight of the night. So forgive my lack of enthusiasm again on this one. But what do we reckon?
Well, I also picked this one to be the most boring fight of the night, just because it's a retirement fight. These are two retirees that are fighting for this one. But if I had to pick, and if eye pokes are still illegal, and that's debatable sometimes with Chris Weidman and John Jones on the card, I'm gonna go with Eric Anders to win this by something. I don't know what. It won't be finish. I don't think he finishes Chris. I don't think anybody finishes anybody here. But I'm gonna go with Eric Anders just because I don't think Chris Weidman is a UFC fighter anymore.
I am also going with Eric Anders, but Jax probably knows why I'm going with Eric Anders.
Yeah. I know where he's from. I know what the football part of it. So yeah,
Yep.
that makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm not doing this on purpose. I swear to God. Yeah, I'm going for Chris Weidman. The thing is, yeah, like
pig leg
I
Weidman,
think
huh?
I think I think Chris Weidman's gonna win. I mean, I know I kind of agree with what a lot of people were saying about. I know that he cheated really badly in the last fight um against Bruno Silva, but he was winning without the eye pokes. I felt like he was dusting him up pretty well. And I know Bruno Silva's a little bit hit and miss, but I don't really see anything in Anders' game that really impresses me. He really struggles when he gets pinned against the cage. Really struggles to break from that situation. His grappling is okay, and he does have some pop in his strikes. But Chris Weidman has fought at the highest level, and I think he has better fundamentals than Anders does. They're both old. They're both kind of at they're on their way out. But I don't see anything in Anders where I think how's he going to finish this fight. And I just think Chris Weidman, he's got more veteran craftiness about him to drag. I mean, it's going to be a horrible fight. Let's just establish that straight away. This is going to be dog shit. But I think that suits Weidman's game a little bit more, and I think it's going to be horrible to watch. But I think Weidman's going to edge this out by like just doing the right things at the right time.
Split decision.
Potentially split eyeball. Potentially
split eye pokes.
Lid. Yeah. I'm going with Weidman. I just think he's a little bit better all round. And the fact that, like I said, he's faced better guys as well.
Absolutely.
Now this next fight is one I'm very excited for. Jonathan Martinez, Marcus McGee.
Yeah, now we're getting into some real fights here.
Mm-hmm. This is gonna be a good one right here.
Yeah.
This is secretly the one I'm looking forward to, probably the most outside of one or two on the main card. I think this is main card worthy considering what we've got. But
absolutely. And as soon as this one got announced, I mean, I just been waiting for Marcus McGee to fight again. Mm-hmm. I mean, from what we've seen him do in the Apex, in these smaller shows and just walking through people, man, just destroying people. Like, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer for him to get this chance, just because he's not as in your face and vocal as other people. But I'm happy that he's getting a shot at somebody with a number. And I think he makes the most of it. And I think he knocks Jonathan Martinez out.
Interesting.
So I went with Martinez just because I definitely like Marcus McGee. Like I like his fight style a lot. Like I think he's very good. But unfortunately, I think he just got into the game a little too late because I mean he's 34 at bantamweight. So Martinez is just 30. And I think the fight he had with Aldo, I know Aldo outclassed him, but I think he is going to take a lot from that fight and bring it into this fight. And that's why I'm going with Jonathan Martinez by decision.
Yeah, this is the one I'm really torn about. I had this one picked as fight of the night as well. I just think this one's going to be a war. And I think it's going to come down to how effective Martinez's leg kicks are against McGee's straight strikes. I'm gonna. This is tough. I'm gonna edge McGee in this one, just because I think he's like really. I've been waiting for him to come back a long time. I'm going against everything I've just said because I've been talking about the experience factor and who people, who certainly competition levels, and Martinez has definitely faced a better competition. And again, true. I think what you've both said about his fight with Aldo, I respect the fact that he was willing to go into Aldo's domain and try to fight in that way. I respected that. He didn't, because the blueprint's there on Aldo. Just, basically date him against the cage and you're fine.
Yep. Get on the cage and cuddle. You'll win.
And Jonathan Martinez didn't do that, and I got a lot of respect for that. And he did have little moments in the fight with Aldo where he looked clean. I'm with what Paradox is saying. I think McGee's at that stage where he's been very smart in terms of he does not fight injured. Like if he's willing to wait things out, and he's been very patient with his career so far. And I'm just very impressed with this guy, and I think he's gonna. I don't know if because I don't think he finishes Martinez. I think this is going to be razor close. I think whoever wins, there's going to
split
be
decision.
I can see a split decision. I can see it being one of those ones where we get to the end of it, we get to the judges, and we're all looking around like we don't know. I have no idea, and not like, oh, like the judges are fucked. We don't know. More like I genuinely don't know who won this fight, and nobody being upset either way. Whoever gets the nod, but I'm gonna edge McGee just because I think it's I like him as well. There's a little bit of bias in that regard as well. I've liked his performances so far, so I'm gonna edge McGee. But it's this for me is one of the best fights, top 3 fights on the card.
Absolutely,
it's better than John Jones and Miocic. Anyway, what's next?
Ruffy and Neon Top.
Okay, we can do this if we want. I guess we can do this if you want, guys. This is a fighter nerd we're talking about, but go ahead.
We already know how this gonna go. It's just a matter of when he does it and how he does it. Mauricio Rufy, to me, like that's my favorite fighting nerd. Just the way that he moves in the cage and the flair and flash that he has is so dope. And Double L on top, like he's gonna lose. I don't like his face. He's gonna lose. It's gonna be easy. I didn't even remember him being in the UFC at this point. Like,
I think he was cut, and he was brought back in for this. And I know the thing is, I kind of want him to do well because we've got like one of our boys in the chat is Peruvian as well, so I kind of like slightly root for and he does have some explosiveness to him, but I think he was cut and he's been brought back specifically as a short notice opponent for this fight. So that's an interesting thing to note.
Yeah, no, that's good for him. I don't think it's going to work out, and I think he's going to be embarrassed. Hopefully, he doesn't for his sake, his own sake. He gives a good showing, but I don't think that he's in Rufy's league. I don't think it happens for him. So, Rufy by knockout.
Yeah, same. I'm going Rufy by KO as well. I think Neon Top fighting on short notice. It feels like Ruffy's been in camp for a while because he had one fight and he was in camp for that, and then that guy pulls out, and then they move him to another day, and he pretty much just stayed in camp. And I'm with Jax. I think he has the most potential out of all the people at the Fight Nerds. Like I really like Ruffy a lot. So I think it's definitely a tough spot for Leon Top to be in trying to do this. But hey, respect to him.
Yeah, I think with Lontop, it was one of those ones where I think he was basically given the option of you're not coming back or you can take this murderer. He's like, I'll take that one. I'll take that one more paycheck. You never know. He might turn up a little bit under the weather. He might slip on a banana skin in there. We never know. You take the opportunities you're given, I guess. Yeah, this is going to be brutal. In terms of my favorite fighting nerds, again, I'm not doing this to be a contrarian. Like I'm probably highest on Gene Silver. There's just something I really like about the guy. But it's a preference thing, This should be brutal. I think they've elevated him to the main card for a good reason. I think he's going to show out, and I think the fighting nerds are on a crest right now. They've clearly booked this to make that gym give them even more of a boost. And I think this one's going to be quick. And I think the odds reflect that. I think, again, though, Lontop does have some power. I wouldn't be betting on this at minus 800, as good as Rufy is. Like, I think in any MMA fight, when you got two guys in there that can shut the lights out, I wouldn't be betting. I wouldn't even be parlay fluffing Rufy in there at minus 800, as good as he is. But he should win pretty comfortably.
He should.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Rufy. I think I'm with you guys. I'm going with first round murder. 187. 187 piece. All right. So what's next up?
Vivian Araujo versus Karine Silva.
Okay. I actually don't think this fight is that bad either. I've got a few opinions about this one. What do we
Yeah,
reckon,
that was
boys?
interesting too when you said when you mentioned that you were excited about this one. I was very surprised.
You thought I
But
was going to pick it as most boring fight of the night, but I that must have been very disappointing. I'm
it
getting less
was.
predictable in my old age. It's the dementia setting in.
Yeah, it was a curveball. I wasn't ready for that one. But I mean, you know how high I am on Karina Silva and Natalia Silva. Almost anybody named Silva. Pretty much. That's a good base for MMA. But I do think that Araujo is very good in a lot of different areas. But I think that Silva is it's her time to ascend at this point. And Araujo, they've been putting her up against people that are kind of making their name off of her at this point. And like she's kind of slid into a Neil Magny role in the division. So it's kind of where it's going. I think Silva's going to win. I don't think she's going to finish her. I think it'll be a decision, probably 29-28.
I'm going with Karine Silva as well. Some I actually didn't know. I think she's on like a 9-fight win streak, and like 8 of them are by finish. So when I saw that, I was like, really?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely like her game for sure. I think her grappling is going to be the difference in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if she got a finish by submission, but I'm going to go Silva by decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Silver as well, but I'm worried about this one because again, I think Araujo is actually quite good. She's faced much better competition. I like her grappling. I think her striking is actually slightly more crisp than Silver's as well. The thing with Silver, I was very high on her until she fought Lipsky, who she took to the, and I really don't think Lipsky's that good. And what kind of scares me again about this one is everyone. You know how I feel about gambling in general, and how there's always one fight on the card that kind of throws people off and fucks up their parlays. And I think that the worry about this one for me is I think the whole thing's rigged anyway. But like I think this could be one of those ones where if it goes to decision and it's really close, Araujo could get the nod because I reckon Silver's going to be on everyone's parlay card. And that's the concern for me.
Yeah.
I think it could be one of those ones where it's a super close fight, which Karine Silva probably or arguably clearly enough wins 2 rounds in, but ends up getting skanked. I could see it going in that direction just because I reckon everyone and their dog is going to be betting on Karine Silva for this one, and that always concerns me. And the Tapology stuff reflects that as well. And I think in a female fight, there's always one on the card that does this to everyone, and I think it could be this one.
Yeah.
I like a distance play as well that Cheddarhead's mentioning. I think that's a
yeah. I would lean towards that distance play as well. But I mean, you're right. Like this is a little bit more even match than people may think. Araujo definitely has a path to victory for sure. She can, and she's a veteran, so she can squeak out a couple of rounds. And that's all she needs.
Yeah, I think it's one that I've bet on. I've got Silva. She's in that same parlay I put on with Tibura, so it's probably not going to matter by the time I get to that stage. But yeah, I think there's a banana skin in here for sure somewhere, and I wouldn't fuck with it personally. Yeah. Is this true about the 310 main event, or is No Chill blowing smoke up our asses?
I haven't seen anything about it. I just went on Twitter.
That ain't true. That can't be true. Ain't no way.
That can't be true. Yeah. If it is true, this is great for Shavkat. My God, if he ends up drawing this,
I can't see Kobe getting that fight though. After having how many title shots would it be now? 4?
3. Well, 3 too many.
3
for sure.
Yeah. Like 3, yeah, but still, like after his last fight, Because I mean, he got
Yeah.
50-45 by Leon.
Which looks
that
even
he
worse
looked
now.
awful. He looked so bad in that fight. No, Kobe shouldn't. Kobe doesn't deserve that fight. Kobe pretty much doesn't deserve to fight somebody in the top 5 at this point. I think he needs to be fighting far, far down if he fights again. I have no faith in him doing anything in the UFC. Period. He might as well retire. To be honest.
Yeah. It would be interesting. A lot of credit. I mean, it wipes away the whole like he's not any narrative out there that he's been ducking fights would be eliminated instantly if he took the Shavkat fight.
It would be.
Because I mean, if you're a ducker, you're not ducking Ian Gary over Shavkat 100%. Maybe Colby's being honest in that he's mainly looking for fights that are like scary on paper and draw on paper. Could end up being the narrative that's actually true. He might not be talking complete shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next fight.
Sorry,
my bad. I was just gonna say next fight we got Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig.
Shout out to Paul Craig for his sick one-liner in the press conference. I really like that one. Did you guys hear what he said to Bo Nickel?
What did he say?
I remember him saying something. I can't remember what it was.
Like
Basically,
anybody can tap or something like that?
Basically Bo Nickel was saying that he doesn't understand what he's saying, and he said, "You'll understand me in the cage on Sunday. Tapping's a universal language." I thought that was pretty good.
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, nobody understood what the fuck he was talking about, but I enjoyed it.
I thought that was clever. I'll tell you, I'm going for Paul Craig. I'm definitely rooting for him. I hope he wins.
I love a good fraud check, and I think the guy's I think the guy's funny as well.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy him. I'd like to see him win.
But what I think will happen is Bo Nickel's going to knock him out. I mean, Paul Craig is hittable, and I just feel like the youth is on Bo Nickel's side, and pretty much everything is on Bo Nickel's side outside of a random triangle. So, but if Bo Nickel looks bad in this fight, that would be 2 fights where he looked like garbage. That Cody Brundage fight, he did not look good. He shouldn't have had that much trouble with Cody. And if he has an extensive amount of trouble with Paul Craig, like maybe he ain't the guy we thought he was.
Yeah. What do you reckon, crossover?
I'm going with Bo Nickel here. I am curious to see though if Bo tries to grapple with Paul Craig and use that wrestling, or if he's just gonna be like, you know what, I'm the better striker. Let's just keep it on the feet, and I can piece him up on the feet. I'm very curious to see what route he goes, but I'm picking Bo Nickel by KO as well.
Yeah, I've got the same. I think I do love Paul Craig. I enjoy him very much, but I just think he's going to get chinned out in the first round. I think that the triangle thing worked a couple of times because he had the element of surprise. Everyone knows that's his only trick now, and no one's going to stumble into. And it's literally his only trick. He's got nothing else to his game. His striking is horrendous. He can't even grapple. Like his grappling's not good. He gets grappled, and then uses his trump card to kind of, do you know what I mean? He's not even good at wrestling. Like his striking is very, very. It's not even average. And I mean, it looked below average at light heavyweight, which he never should have been fighting there in the first place. And middleweights aren't particularly skilled, but they're generally more skilled than light heavyweights. So I don't like this for him at all. I think Nickel's going to chin him because he's got no fear. He can go in there and swing, knowing that Craig isn't going to be able to chin him back, which would be hilarious, by the way.
That would be hilarious
if Paul Craig knocked his ass out. I want Bo Nickel to get fraud checked because, again, it's just I don't like the way he's talking already. And as you said, that Cody Brundage performance was dog shit. So,
bro, it's a rite of passage, man. It's a rite of passage to get fraud checked, man. Like once you get fraud checked, and I hate the term fraud check, but like it's relevant. And if that happens, then he can start to really formulate who he is. Like it's almost like we need to see that that aura that you think you have cracked, and then we'll be like, okay, now we're gonna see what you can really do. I don't know why it has to be that way, but it kind of has to be that way.
Yeah, if it's too easy, you don't. It's harder to grow when things have been too easy. And I'm thinking maybe that Cody Brundage fight might have been that wake up call for him, and why he's had another extended period of time off, because I don't think he handled him the way he was expecting to. So
That was UFC
maybe it's
300, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, the fact that he was on the main card for UFC 300 at 6-0 is wild. But whatever.
Next
And he ended
fight,
up
we
kind of sneaking it
got
out.
Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler 2. This one's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun for sure. As much as I rag on Chandler all the time, he's never been in a boring fight in the UFC. So we do have that. And Oliveira is who he is. Can't believe he's still ranked number 7 though. That's fucking mental. But anyway, what do you reckon, boys?
I feel like this kind of goes the same way the last one went. Like I feel like I do think that Chandler's going to be a little bit more strategic, as long as his mind can hold him into being strategic. But then that little animal Wolverine instinct is going to kick in, and he's just going to start doing Michael Chandler things and being retarded. And so, and when that happens, Charles is going to be right there to pounce on him and club and sub.
I see it going the same way the first fight did as well. I think the first fight, Chandler's gonna have a little bit of that nervous energy just because he hadn't been in there in a while. But at some point, once everything starts flying, man, Michael Chandler's gonna be Michael Chandler. He's just gonna go wild, try and get into a brawl, and try and knock you out, or he gets knocked out, and then he's gonna get rocked at some point. And I like Oliveira just a little bit better in the chaos when it's all when everything's flying around. Next thing you know, they end up on the ground or something. And yeah, I'm going Oliveira by submission this fight.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about this one, mostly because whenever we see fighters rematch, and especially when the rematch isn't really that justified, it's very rare to see somebody go 2-0 against somebody, because there's that element of like, I've beat this guy before, and part of how you feel in your mind is like, oh, I'll just go out there and beat him again. There's always a part of that to somebody where when you've dusted somebody, I know Oliveira's saying the right things about how dangerous he is, and I'm sure he's not going to be he's not going to go in there stupid, because we all know that Chandler he's dangerous, but he is dumb. Let's not forget that. Very dumb. Chandler does look like he's in the best shape of his career. Whenever I pick against Charles Oliveira, I always end up with egg on my face, but I don't know. This is one of those ones where I was very clearly picking Oliveira when this whole thing was announced, and but the closer we get to it, Chandler did have a moment where he nearly cleaned him out in that first fight, where he nearly had him beat. And the worrying thing is to me with that, I do think Oliveira's going to win. I think he's got more ways to win. I think he's much better on the feet than people give him credit for. A very dangerous striker. The reason why you have to edge him is because Chandler's ground game is just not good enough. He gets his back taken way too often.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes way too many mistakes in there. Way too many. He always does something stupid. It's like he can't help himself. And against somebody like Oliveira, who has so many different ways to win.
Yeah.
Oliveira's been more active as well. You can argue that he got a win against Sarukian. So should he really? I don't understand why this fight is happening. Can I just say that as well?
That was going to be my question. Like, if this fight is not the one that should have happened, who should they have been fighting?
I think it's more of it's a good fight for Chandler because he gets to like do it again. He gets to try and get the win back. But what has he done to deserve getting this fight again? Since Oliveira's
Been a
beaten
company
him,
man.
The Ultimate Fighter.
But all Chandler's really done is have fun fights. He's 2-3 in the promotion. He's 2-3 against a one, and one of his wins was against a walking fucking corpse as well. I don't know I don't know why this guy gets such preferential treatment, and he's not good on the mic. All he does, yeah, I will give him this. His fights are fun, but he loses the majority of them. I don't get why he gets the Oliveira fight. I don't get why this is happening.
That Dan Hooker win has aged gracefully, though.
Yeah, it certainly has.
Yeah, definitely looks good now. And we were talking about me and CJ. We were talking about Michael Chandler when we were watching the weigh-ins, and we were listening to him, and everything that he says, it either begins or ends in a cliche. Like
he's
he has a
awful.
cliche for everything. And so, like, we started calling him Michael Fortune Cookie Chandler because everything he says, it seemed like he just read it out of a fortune cookie.
I can't stand him. That "see you at the top" thing. Every time I see it, I just want to, like I said, I think I said this on your video. I feel like stabbing myself through the eardrum. I can't stand this. He's so cringy and so annoying. He must be like, his whole story pisses me off. Stalking his wife for 2 years and sending her relentless emails until she went out with him. That shit is creepy, bro.
It is stalker, yeah, that's true.
It's creepy. I just find him to be he gives me NPC vibes. Where like there's a few phrases, catchphrases just pumped into his fucking peanut-sized brain.
Yep.
And then he just regurgitates this shit every so often.
Mm-hmm.
He is fun though, I guess. Fortune cookie, yeah. I hope he gets fucking embarrassed and that we never see him again. Or not even that we never see him again. But what worries me about this more than anything, he's higher in the rankings than he deserves to be. He's been camping on that ranking spot for ages. If he beats Charles Oliveira, he's gonna grab the mic and he's gonna call out Islam Makhachev, and he might get it. That's my concern.
He will get it.
Knowing the favoritism he gets in that, and the UFC are like, oh, we can give more legacy to Makhachev as well. It's a little layup for him. It will be fun. For some reason, they love this guy. If he beats Charles Oliveira in convincing fashion, he'll be next in line, and it'll be another free win for Makhachev. I don't like anything about it. Whereas Oliveira, like I said, we talked about this multiple times, that the run he had as champion is arguably the most exciting run that any champion's ever had. When he was in there, you felt danger on both sides, whoever he was fighting. And he'd always managed to pull it out of the bag. So, yeah, I really hope that little goblin gets slept viciously in the first round.
Is this a number one contender fight?
I'd assume they've been told that.
They never come out and say... Go ahead.
Yeah, well, they're Sarukian. They're Sarukian, but he doesn't have the name value, so he could very much get pushed aside.
Nah, I think the Sarukian fight, that's in stone. That's 100% happening, and then whoever wins this fights the winner of that.
I think that's given how
much Makhachev fights, though, we wouldn't see that. We wouldn't see the winner of this fight getting it. I don't want to see either of them fighting Makhachev. Is the point? Because we've seen how easy a fight Charles Oliveira was for Makhachev. I mean, he barely broke a sweat out there, and I definitely don't want to see Chandler get it. I don't know. We've got this fight. It should be fun for what it is, but I don't know.
I mean, the division is kind of murky, man, because, and I hate to say it, but it is because of Gaethje, Poirier, Oliveira, those three clouding up the top five.
Well, I mean, when they fight the up and comers, they beat them. That's the issue.
That's the problem. It's murky, man. It's real murky.
Yeah, you can't. I guess you can't really begrudge them for that. They're same. The reason why I'm more angry with like Gaethje and Poirier is because they tend to They beat somebody way down the rankings, and then they fight each other again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like fucking like it's like, you know what I mean? They're fighting the same guys. It's like that's why I have an issue with it. But yeah, hopefully Oliveira wins, and you know, I don't think we see either of them. I think the thing is, if Chandler wins, he could disrupt the Sarukian thing. I genuinely think he could.
I
The
actually
Sarukian did
think
get banned.
Chandler Islam would actually be exciting. I would definitely pick Islam in the fight, but I definitely think it would be exciting for sure.
Well, it would force Chandler to actually wrestle,
Yep.
which would be interesting.
I
He
think
does have
that
power.
Chandler has a shot. He got a shot in that fight, though. He does have a shot, and it is because of how reckless he is.
Mm-hmm.
That is what will give him a shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate seeing it. It's just I just think the fact that he's been off for so long and he's been rank camping for so long as well kind of annoys me. And he's just, like I said, he's just very annoying to listen to. Like him spouting "see you at the top" constantly, which I think is the worst catchphrase ever created. If he ends up at the top, I'll just be physically ill. If he actually pulls it off, I don't want it to come to fruition for him. You know, all this like virtue signaling bullshit, and then he actually pulls it off. It would really annoy me. Him showing us his vision board and all that. I don't think I could handle that.
Hey, put that comment that Manuel Fernandez put, the last one that he put. That's interesting. Because you might be right. Because he hates Chandler so much.
That's a good point. Especially if Chandler gets the win, everyone's going to be licking their chops.
Mm-hmm.
Because Makhachev looks like he could be champion for as long as he feels like.
Hypothetical.
All right, so
if Chandler were to win, who would you want his first defense to be against?
See, this is the problem, isn't it? It's like it would be Poirier, wouldn't it? It would be fucking Poirier again. This is what you guys are up to. This is what all this scumbaggery is about.
Too. It could be Gaethje too. Remember the Chandler Gaethje fight was amazing.
That would be ridiculous.
This is what you scumbags are up to. This is what it's all about. You're trying to get your boy in for one last pony ride, yeah? Scumbags.
I don't know, man. I think if Chandler wins, then man, you can't give it to. If you look down the rankings, like it would have to be. It almost has to be somebody new. Like, do you give it to Dan?
Hooker might not be that far. Hooker
well, Hooker knocked out. I mean, Chandler knocked out Hooker.
I know.
But, I mean, that was a long time ago. So I mean, I could see them doing Hooker and McGregor as a possible if McGregor ever comes back, which I still don't believe will happen. But that could be because that would be guaranteed fun as well. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's weird, man. It's all that whole division's fucked.
Yeah, I think you just don't know. You don't know how things would shake out. You'd have to wait to see who rises to the top because a lot of people in the division come off of losses. Because if that were the case, then Charles would be off of a loss. Gaethje would be coming off of a loss. Poirier off of a loss.
off of a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all a clusterfuck, but I'm all here for it. I mean, at least it's something to talk about, I guess.
Yeah. All
right, boys, let's talk about it. Let's get to it. The main event. The so-called main event. The corporate main event.
John Jones against Stipe Miocic. I'm going to stick with my original pick. I think John gets it done, despite everything that's going on, and the duck goose stuff. I think that John Jones is the greatest of all time, and I think that he shows it in this fight by being strategic. It may not be exciting. He may not Surrogano, but I mean, I think this is just tailor-made for him to win it. He's fighting an old retired firefighter. Like, come on.
A retired firefighter. Wow.
I'm right there with making the walk. I'm going John Jones as well. I think the time off for Stipe at that age is going to be too much. I think John Jones is going to have a very good game plan. I think with him being a little lighter, we're going to see some more kicks, and I don't think Stipe deals with the kicks too well. And then once Stipe gets comfortable on the feet, then that's when I think John Jones is going to be in the clinch, trying to get the takedowns. And then I think John Jones just needs one takedown, just one. Whenever it happens over 25 minutes, I think that's all he'll need. And then he can get in position, ground and pound with those elbows, and y'all know how nasty he is with those.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's really hard to pick. How are you going? Are you going by finish then? I assume.
Yeah, but I'm going submission actually.
Okay, it's not a bad shout. I think this is going to go 5. I don't know why I'm feeling that way. I think part of it is like, I know Jones dispatched have gone like really, really easily, but he looked like a sloppy mess until he took him down. And I think that Miocic in the stand up is if Miocic can land a few and get his respect, it might make Jones reluctant to shoot in as often. I do think you're right. I do think a takedown is going to be very, very important in this fight. I just don't know if I don't know. I think Jones is expecting to breeze through him. I think is the issue. I think that's why he's taking this fight. And I think all the talk about Tom is going to be distracting him a little bit as well. Whether he wants to admit it or not, I think he's got Tom in the back of his mind. I think Miocic is a lot better than people are giving him credit for. He knows this is probably going to be his last fight. So I think Miocic is going to surprise some people. I do think Jones is going to get the win by decision, but I reckon it's going to be another contentious one. That's what I'm going with. I think it's going to be one of those ones where both of them get 2 clear rounds each, and then we get like a 5th round. It might not necessarily be round 5, but we get a round where it's a swing round, and we don't know who's got it. And it naturally, when John Jones gets given the win, people are going to be fucking furious. So I'm going with that. I think Stipe is going to surprise some people. Maybe I'm again, it's just this pushing this out into the universe type thing and wishing for it. Because everything about it says, John Jones with the eye poking and the teeps, especially those leg teeps, are just horrible. John Jones is willing to do whatever it takes to damage and hurt his opponent, especially with the injuries and the age that Miocic is carrying. Those teeps could be very, very dangerous. But I think he's tough. He knows that this is his last hurrah, so to speak. Maybe the time outside the cage might do well for him because it can go both ways, and it's not like either of them have been particularly active. So I'm going to go for Jones to win by decision, but I reckon it's going to be I reckon it's going to be a good fight as well. I think it's going to be a lot more better and it's going to be a lot better and more competitive than people think, and I think it's going to force Jones into thinking that maybe he needs to fuck off now, because if he struggles his way through Miocic, the prospect of fighting Tom Aspinall is going to be even more scary, and even the thought of fighting Alex Pereira is going to be terrifying as well. So I'm going with that. I'm going with a Jones decision win.
Jax, you think this is going to be competitive, or is it a masterclass by John?
I think it'll be competitive initially until John figures out what he wants to do. And then once he figures it out, then it will no longer be competitive. And it's not, I don't think that Stipe is bad by any means. I think that Stipe is a legit heavyweight champion, an all-time great in that division. But he just happens to be facing somebody who's just a step above, who's a little bit younger. And even with John Jones's inactivity, he's still more active than him. So I just feel like it's just wrong place, wrong time. If they would have met up at a different time in their careers, different conversation. I think it would have been a lot closer fight. But unfortunately for Stipe, we are where we are, and age is real, man. And I've seen him punching, and it ain't there no more, bro. But that being said, he can knock him out. The way that he knocked out Fabricio Verdun going backwards lets you know, like, he's got power at any point. So it's definitely possible, and him being submitted is going to be very difficult. He knows what he's doing on the ground. He's not to John's level, but he's never been submitted. So you know, he's got the tools to win. I just don't think he finds them in time. So I mean, it starts here and it just starts going downhill for him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. Another thing that needs to be considered as well is like, what the fuck has John Jones been doing during the off time? Bear in mind, he's 37 years old now, nearly 38.
Yeah,
he's probably been drinking a lot more. You know where he gets away with it when he's younger in his career. I know Stipe's old, but I don't think he's been playing like that. I think he's known he's going to be fighting John Jones for a while as well. Same way, it's like a constant focus on that. He seems to me to be the more focused individual in his professional life. I think that has to be taken into consideration as well. I know everything's pointing towards Jones fucking steamrolling through him, but I sense like I just get a feeling it's going to be tougher than people are expecting. In the same way as when Miocic fought Ngannou the first time. What is Jones weighing, by the way?
I think it was like 230, 233. So he's 15 pounds lighter than he was in the gunfight.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's 15 pounds light. I think he's 15 pounds lighter than Miocic on the night as well. I think
Stipe was like 240, like the mid 240s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and you assume because they're both fighting at heavyweight, they're not weight cutting, either of them. So that disparity is going to be there on the night as well. That 15 pounds. And the thing is, I know, like Paradox here is saying Stipe is coming off a KO. That KO was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's not. This isn't a guy who's been KO'd in the last 6 months, and he's like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel, do you know, I just feel like we deserve this. We deserve John Jones knocked out. We all deserve it.
I think you want it.
I want it so badly. I want it so bad.
I got a question.
I really do.
If Jones wins, rank in likelihood, what do you think he does next? Retire, Aspinall, or Pereira?
I reckon I spoke about this on Jax's video a little bit. I think it comes down to how he wins against Stipe. I think the way that I've broken it down, if he knocks out Stipe or finishes him in very quick fashion, I think he campaigns really hard for the Alex Pereira fight, and we get it like May, June next year, probably International Fight Week next year. That's what I would say potentially happens. Alex gets his time off, and he knows that when he comes back, he's going to be getting the Jones fight. So that would give him reason to kind of sit on the shelf for a little while. Because Jones would be like, right, I've starched somebody out. I've still got it. I can go in there against Alex. Fine. If he goes to a decision with Stipe and it's close, he says he's not going to retire and then eventually does. Like, so he doesn't announce it on the night, but he acts like he's going to hang around and then we don't fucking see him fight again. If he loses to Stipe, we get a rematch with Stipe at the midpoint of next year. Under no scenario can I see him fighting Tom Aspinall. And that's where I see it.
Yeah. I don't see him fighting Tom. Well, I take that back. A lot of things will have to happen for him to fight Tom. A lot. And by a lot, I'm talking about money. That bounty that he put out there to fight Francis, like he's gonna need all that. Because for him, in his mind, not to everybody else's, but in his mind, he's putting everything on the line to fight somebody who's truly scary to him. He's not scared of Stipe. He's not scared of Tom, but he's scared of what could happen. And so for him to put that on the line, he needs something to supplement that. And so if he's got to play hardball to get it, that's what he's going to do. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. And he doesn't care about making everybody mad and people thinking he's ducking. He doesn't care. He's lived this life for a long time. Since he was 23, he's been champ. Been living for a long time. And so he's going to keep making people mad until the money gets thrown his way. If the money gets thrown his way, then he'll fight Tom. But if it don't happen within a year-ish,
I think he does care though. I think with Jones, the reason why he's not been receptive to this whole thing up to now is because he's gotten away with doing horrendous things outside the cage and still having people talking about him like, oh, he's the GOAT. If he doesn't fight Tom, those voices are going to get loud. Look at the abuse he's getting now. And he's a sensitive guy. Mm-hmm. He is. He responds to people's DMs. He responds to people's posts. He's listening to what everyone's saying. He's looking at videos that people are making about him. He's that kind of guy. And I think that when people start saying, when this narrative doesn't go away, I think it's gonna upset him. Because we talked about this before. It's like him being seen as great is not enough. He wants to be seen as the greatest ever. And when people are saying, yeah, well, you ducked this guy, you're a pussy, he's going to find that hard to live with, I think. And it's what people were saying at the beginning of the stream. It's like, when this guy goes into retirement, people are going to rightfully this ain't going to end for him.
No, it's not going to end.
Look at the mass trolling that's going on right now. Like, I was watching a Guru video the other day where he was talking about when they did the UFC weigh-ins, and they just had the whole fucking live stream was just getting blown away with just duck emojis for the entire thing, and they were just mass banning people. The whole chat was just spamming ducks. You got people making videos. This ain't gonna go away, and I don't think this is about money. I mean, if Jones is thinking, all right, maybe some people are, fishing on that narrative a little bit. Maybe he's looking for extra pay. I think it would take upwards of $30 million for Jones to reconsider this. And I don't think the UFC are going to give him that.
Yeah, that was 30 million was the figure that I was thinking. 30 million.
They're not going to give him that.
No, I don't think so.
No way.
I don't think so. Now, if Tom was a bigger presence outside of us and the people who are in this chat, then I think that they would consider it. But I don't know that they think that they'll get their money's worth if they give John 30 million to fight Tom.
Because look at the scenario. If they give the guy $30 million, which is a lot of money, first of all, it sets a bad precedent in terms of who they'd have to pay after that. But also, they could lose their GOAT. They could be paying out $30 million to lose their Michael Jordan. They're not going to do that.
No, I don't see it either.
John Jones has been saying consistently for 18 months, I'm not fighting Tom Aspinall. He's been saying it for 18 months. I don't know why there's any belief on anyone's side that this was ever going to happen. But we should abuse him for it because he should be. The fact is here, we talked about this as well. If he just shut the fuck up and been humble about it, or even been humble about it and said, look, yeah, Tom's he's a great fighter, he's young. I'm at the peak, I'm at the end of my career now. I just want to fight this legend in Stipe because I've always wanted to fight him and then I'm leaving. But to say he's not worthy of a fight with me, and it's just ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. When the guy's beaten 5 guys in the top 10 by first round KO, and the only people he hasn't beaten is you, Gone, and who's the other guy? Rosenstruik. And he obviously hasn't beaten Stipe because you're fighting Stipe. It's ridiculous, man. To say that is just it just makes him look like a joke. And that's the thing. He's talking his way into this trolling. He could have handled it so much better.
He definitely could have. But I'm gonna give y'all a what if scenario. What if John wins goes into retirement. Him and Stipe retire, right? And then Tom is elevated to the undisputed champ. And his next title defense is against Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane beats him. How do you think John's going to react if that happens?
Well, you know exactly what he's going to do.
Ooh, he is going to talk cash, money, ish to everybody. Everybody.
It kills
and
it.
I would
That's the
too
problem.
if I were him.
It kills it. And you know, it won't matter that the Styles makes fights argument. It won't matter the fact that knowing John Jones's luck, that's exactly how this is going to play out.
That would be so crazy.
And it would be ironic with Tom saying that he retires. He's going to retire John without fighting him. John Jones could essentially retire, like be re-heralded as the GOAT without ever having to fight Tom. If that happens, it could turn out to be at heavyweight. Anything can happen. Gane's good. I don't think we got the true Gane when he fought Jones for whatever reason. It's certainly going to be everything indicates that Gane is the only threat currently to Aspinall, and that will be the fight they make if these two don't fight again. Unless they do
Gane
Alex
is fighting
and Tom.
Volkov in December.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gane beats Volkov. He's right there.
Yeah, and Volkov's a tough fight. I mean, I know he's beaten before, but Volkov's been really good lately. He's definitely elevated himself. If Volkov goes for the takedown game as well, it could be very interesting. Oh, hang on. Is that so? James Lontop missed weight at catchweight. We've just heard this.
How do you miss weight at catchweight?
Yeah, I thought it was just a catchweight. Like whatever he weighed in at, that's what they agreed to fight at.
That's bizarre.
Jamal Hill.
That is bizarre. So what are they fighting at? Because Rufy is a
lightweight. I thought it was 165. That's what I thought they were going to fight.
Because I know Rufy won on the Contender Series at 170, but he came in at short notice. What are they fighting at then?
Last thing I saw said 165.
So Lontop hasn't made that. Fucking hell, what a shit show, man.
That's terrible. Yeah, says catchweight. He ain't ready, man. He ain't ready. He's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, so they were supposed to fight at 165, and Lontop came in at 166.2.
Nah, that's not that bad.
That's not bad. Okay.
That's not that bad. And the guy did take it on a week's notice or whatever it was, or 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that. And he is a 170. He is a 175. So he cuts to get to 170. Lontop's a 170, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he is. Anyway, it's all mad. By the way, as much as I've been dunking on this card, and I have been, I think we're going to get some bangers in here. I think for name value, it's not the best card we could have gotten, but I think we're going to get some scraps.
Yeah. Yep.
And at least we're going to get a resolution to the. Sorry, God.
So for the record, are we going to live stream tomorrow's main card?
Yeah, we will. I've spoken to. I think Paradox is going to jump on as well. I've spoken to Paradox this morning. Speak of the devil. So yeah, I mean, I might even go, depending on how things shake out. I might even go on a little bit earlier. We'll see how things go, because I mean, I'm going to be watching it anyway. So I don't know. We'll see how things shake out. But I'm definitely. I want to be there just in case John Jones gets knocked out. I want to be there. I want to be there live.
Yeah.
Like if John Jones wins, which we're all expecting, I'll just, it's fine. I can live with it. It's what I've resigned myself to. But if somehow. But by the way, so crossover, you're gonna be jumping on for Paul and Tyson, right?
I'm considering it. I'm leaning towards doing it. Yeah. But tomorrow for the card, I won't be streaming for that though. I'll be at a little watch party for that.
Out in them streets. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't want people to miss my live reaction if Jones ends up with his tongue out in a different context this time. not in his usual, not for his usual weekend party fun time. I don't want people to miss that. I think it would be. And again, the Jones cards do have something special about them. They just do. Whenever he fights, it's an occasion. So I'm inclined to roll with this one. See how it goes.
For sure.
But yeah, I want to thank everyone who's turned up for this live stream. We appreciate it. It's not really something that we usually do, but for those people that, and it was it says we've got 70 people here on all collective channels and on X, which is great numbers. So just a reminder to everyone to subscribe to all the people here, subscribe to Making the Walk, subscribe to Crossover MMA. How you did, Smelly? It's good to see you here as well. My eyes are not blue, by the way. I just want to clarify this. I don't know. I just want to put that out there. But no, I really appreciate having all you guys here and everyone who turned up. Make sure you're subscribing to everyone who's on board, and hopefully you will do the Paul and Tyson things. I think I might be able to get a couple of hours sleeping, and then this is another one that I have to watch live.
Yep,
have
to. Got to.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you guys want to push out while we're here? Is there anything on the burners that you guys
What are you guys' guesses for the UFC 310 main event announcement?
Yeah, I mean, how much truth is there to this one as well? By the way, I do want to quickly I'm gonna quickly throw up my John Jones video in here, or our John Jones video in here as well.
Yeah.
For those people who are let me see if I can pull up the link.
Let's see. I got to dip out, but I'm gonna tell you this before I go. I think it'll be Shavkat. I think it is gonna be Shavkat versus Gary. I think it is.
Frankie?
Really? Isn't Gary supposed to be fighting
Buckley in December in Tampa?
Yeah. So who do you reckon is going to be on 310? You reckon, yeah? Was that what or is it 311?
No, that's 310. That's 310. They still haven't announced the main event. So Jax was saying that Gary's going to slide into that spot.
Gary's not going to fight Shavkat. I reckon he knows how that goes. I think
we all know how that goes. We all know how that goes.
I think the Buckley fight's better for him. I think he's going to do it. It wouldn't. I mean, who wants to go in there and get murdered by Shavkat is the question.
Jeff Neal will do it.
JDM.
If JDM's healthy, that's the one that I would rather see.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Shavkat and JDM is the one we really want. I don't think he's going to be healthy though. I think we see JDM in February. They're going back to Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just announced that. Yep.
I think he'll be there. He loves fighting. He loves fighting in Perth, so I think it would be that. That's the fight we obviously want to see, but I don't think we'll get it. It's too good.
Volk's probably gonna be on the main event of the Australia card.
Volk might be fighting Shavkat.
Yeah, you never know. It's funny you mentioned that. I was just thinking the same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if he stuck his name in if he stuck his hat in the ring as well. He's a savage.
Bro, it's funny always seeing somebody pulling out on fights, and then you see on Twitter stepping in on short notice, Alexander Volkanovski running to the octagon.
I know it hasn't been enough. I don't think Shavkat versus Colby is that wild. I don't think Shavkat will take it at this short. I don't think Colby will take it at this short notice. But it could be something that has been talked about for a while. I honestly think it will be Usman. I think it will be Shavkat and Usman.
He can get ready. I know that was his thing. Is he didn't want to do a short notice because he didn't think he would be ready. But if he's ready, then that makes kind of sense.
And I don't think Usman necessarily deserves it. But if you look at the Hamzat fight, the Hamzat loss looks even better now.
Yeah.
After what he just did, and then he was like a 6-time defending champion or whatever. I don't know. I think Usman. I don't think the Usman thing is necessarily dead. I think if they offer him enough money, it depends on how desperate they get. Because I don't think Colby's gonna take it, and I don't think Gary wants none either. So it could end up being a thing where it could be just one of those spanner in the works things where we could get somebody like Sean
Buckley.
Brady. Buckley would fucking take that fight all day.
Absolutely, all day.
Absolutely would, in a heartbeat.
Buckley might be a good outside shot on this one. He might be. But then I think if Buckley pulls out of that fight, I think Gary would then be more willing to take it. Because I think Gary said some very home true things. Not that long when he had that fight with Jeff Neal or whoever it was who he had last, and he said, "I need time to, I need to slow roll myself." I think he was being brutally honest at that time. I think he wants to take his time. How old is he? 26, 27?
Yeah.
Younger even? He's going to take his time. Buckley could be a good shout, or it could be somebody completely out of left field like a Sean Brady or somebody. Not that it matters, does it? Who cares who it
boys,
is?
I got to do.
Yeah, we'll head off. I think we'll head off as well.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little chill time. By the way, thanks to everyone for stopping by. We appreciate all of you. We'll see you for the live stream tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks for having you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Later. Enjoy the fights, everybody.
Peace.
Go Mike Tyson.